Good morning, guys. I just noticed that, and sorry if I sound a little bit nasally, even more so than usual. We've got a little sniffly bug in the house. I think we've had it for a little while, but it's starting to come to fruition here and not good. But I wanted to make sure to get you guys this. I think in the video, normally I have those moves updated, right, for the Qs. The SPY is correct that I stated in the video last night, but the Qs, make sure you're getting this updated, and this can really help you if you're part of the Patreon as well, because we got the right levels there. A lot of the time when I do adjust these, and then if I exit out or something like that, I close out of this, it will like pretty much say it might revert back, and I think that's what happened. So 510.05 is the actual daily expected move, and 499.91 is the daily expected move for the Qs. I'm going to leave those up for a while this morning while we talk about what could happen here. And we talked about yesterday how on the 30-minute, the 0.5 level is pretty important to remain above. So if we come below that, you do have to be worried that something bad can happen, but if that is able to remain positive and cross back through that level on your MACD, that can be a good sign. Let me make sure my mic and everything's working. Okay, good. So what I'm really looking for is, are we going to see some rip around kind of moves? Are we going to see us dip down into this zone again? Are we just going to see a little test of the 5 and then turn back up? It just would be good. Even if this did turn down, it still would be okay, right? There is nothing really bearish about this just yet. There are some bearish signals out there. We can go look at Apple. That's a pretty bearish signal as of right now, saying that trend can reverse. And you'll notice that that can cross the center line. And we do have some points of divergence going across all of these highs. We're starting to taper off. Right now we're tapering a little bit. If this is going to be some kind of, you would want to say cup and handle, but you'd more so just say consolidation to retest the 5 and curl up, well, then this might curl down and then be able to curl right back up. And that is something I am leaning to with the SPY, with the Qs, is if we do cross out, I'm not even saying we have to, I'm just saying if we do, I think we would still make that next move higher, right? I believe we are building a trap at this point, and we need to get people really bullish. That's what I truly think in this area. I think we have the opportunity to go make that new high at the end of the month, maybe get above 649. And then towards the end of the month, we actually create those reversal signals. That's why something like this would look good. And then you'd create the 2-hour, you'd create the 30-minute, maybe across all these levels. So we'll see what happens with this, but I just want to make sure you guys have the correct updated levels. Make sure to update these on your charts. 510.05 for the Qs. This is the one that kind of reverted back. It changed back to the previous day. So I want to make sure you have that. It was correct on Patreon. So 510.05 to the upside, 499.91 to the downside, both of them at very key areas. We know exactly where the liquidity is. Right? If we want to get people excited to the upside and flush it for a second, not saying it has to be some reversal from there, we don't really have those signals, but if we wanted to, we could pay attention to that, right? Because it's in liquidity. If we want to pay attention to if they're going to trap people to the downside, well, then we might end up doing this, getting down in this liquidity to actually head higher. So I think the main thing we're also looking for is NVIDIA after earnings, right? This is a signal we have to be aware of. If this one completes, we want to treat everything curling down as this could get bad. I don't know if that will even happen though, but you do have the divergences. You do have those signals that the weakness is here. And if you would roll back down on this 2-hour, you can see where it is. It's right by negative territory. I still think we have the opportunity to actually head higher here, but we'll see if we can break through this level of 150. If we can really break through 150, I think you're pretty much beelining to something like 155, 156. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. I think today, the 30-minute this morning is the most important thing. We notice Tesla is still within its consolidation. You can see how a lot of people could get tricked too. If this thing rejects from here, it shows some weakness, rejects from here, fills a gap, and then just turns right back around. It would trick a lot of people. AMC and GME both heading down for today. Just to note for GME, no divergence on the 30-minute, but you already got that 2-hour to roll over. So this could be a very bad sign for GME. But we did compare that last night. If you watch the video all the way through, we did compare it to right here, and it looks eerily similar. If you really just look at this, I mean, I know this is a drawn out divergence here, but you do have that in the near price action on a Friday. We do have that in the near price action on a Friday, right? So we'll see if this continues to head in the downward direction. The way we know that this is more the short sellers win here is if the daily is able to confirm down, because you'll notice in this block, the daily was never able to rotate down. Sorry about that, someone popped in here. So I think that's what we'll pay attention to. We'll also pay attention to if weeklies start to roll, if we start to turn down. But for the most part, it really looks like we're going to head towards these highs, head towards 600 again. When the market goes bullish, I book profits. And yeah, taking profits is a good thing. It's a good habit as a trader. But I'm glad that we overall were really just like, hey, we're going to be patient throughout the week and wait for this. We're going to be patient throughout the week and wait for this. And it really did show, and you just see that curl up by the center line, right? And it's a very good play here. You can always move sideways, rotate down until that 5 can catch up a little bit. It's good. IWM, you see that one getting a little crazy at this moment. We do see the 2-hour able to curl up into positive territory. So this would be, hey, if I see 30-minute weakness in here, that's where I'd probably watch out. Do I see 30-minute weakness? Not necessarily. We are testing the breakdown area still. I would include this in the breakdown area. I would make a little box right in here, and you'd see we are right in the top of it as of now. If we can break through that, retest it, and then curl up into positive territory, we actually would hit my target. Weirdly enough, I was looking at Bitcoin, because a long time ago, like a year ago, I made a target for Bitcoin. I made a target for Bitcoin a long time ago, and I was so surprised by it that I just forgot about it. And we're actually getting at higher levels to where it's actually potentially going to make sense. But this is actually a measured move of, I'll have to look back and remember what it is. But this was the measured move that I found for if we were able to break out. And I thought that was very interesting. I thought this was very interesting. Now, you guys know, I really thought this thing would dip down, at least down into like 40K before making that type of move. But we'll see. Right, we don't have to get there right away, but I just think it's cool that we're heading towards it. We do not have reversal signals. So what if we get that daily pullback and then we see a big move up and we see something like this? So that is the measured move I have for Bitcoin. I think that's my highest target right now for Bitcoin, just so you're aware. Mara is starting to try to confirm this divergence here. Just watch out. This could be cup and handle, right? This is one of those situations when you see double top, you want to treat it like it could go either way until you see it really confirm a signal. So if the 2-hour really backs off here, well, we could see that cross. It's right by negative territory. That's very high likelihood to head to lower levels if that goes negative. But you're going to notice on the 30-minute, we do have the opportunity to be in a buy zone. Okay, very flat across the top, very flat across the top here, but you're just noticing we're in a buy zone still. So if we can buy up, maybe after retesting the 5, curl up into positive territory, that would be good for Mara. Gold, I think maybe does have the opportunity to back off soon, but it's just ripping. And another one was DJT. Okay, so DJT, how I overall played this trade with DJT is I actually did manage the trade. So I took profit in this area, and then I see that come back down, and then I see that curl up into positive territory. So this would mean we have a good likelihood to test the high and go make a new one. If we can hold this throughout the day, that's what that's saying. So very interesting there. The daily scale can start to curl up if we get a few days, just like 1 or 2 more days of positivity, and that daily scale will be turning up for the swing trade. Good morning, Maurice. How you guys doing today? SMCI, this one was interesting. This one was interesting. The 30-minute here actually showing divergence after a rapid move. You would expect that to be outside of a weekly expected move, and you're still seeing something crazy. That's why you really, like, if something's going to convince you to wait for confirmations, it would be something like SMCI. Because you notice this is a great move. You're making that weakness and momentum, and then it just turns back up. Let me sneeze. Oh my goodness. So this is where it's important, because you did see this consolidation that's popping up. All you have to do is sit there, be patient, and say, okay, if that crosses down, maybe loses the 5, then we say, okay, now we're in that 2-hour pullback. You would more so be leaning towards a higher low. A reaction down to something like this, 25.63, would make some sense, and then that can maybe turn back around. We'll see, because this is pretty positive at this moment, so if that turns down and then turns back up, we should see the next move higher if that can remain positive. But it's very, very good to pay attention to this and have a stock that just shows you, hey, that 30-minute divergence, it's not really completed, right? It's not confirmed. And so you always have that opportunity to keep going until you see that confirmation. And then you know how to manage risk, which is very, very cool. Palantir making the next move higher, it looks like trying to curl up on this 30-minute. Looks like that is a good sign. The 2 hour is what we are looking for, right? We want that 2, look how close it is to the center line. So that 2 hours really close to the center line, right as you get to the center line, the 50 line for the RSI, you see that start to bounce back up. If we can confirm these levels, you would say another either series of higher highs, higher lows could come in, or this could be some kind of trap. And that's what we're gonna pay attention to. If this shows weakness in this move right now, you would need 30-minute weakness to really say, hey, yeah, that's gonna fall down. We don't necessarily see that anymore. We saw it here, we fall down, move sideways. It also tells me, hey, just be cautious if that thing rolls over. Most likely, the hourly turning up would be a good sign, and then you just wanna see that confirmation from the 2 hour. Oil, I know oil was on a rip. Hey, Wolf, my stock, look at that guy. Wolf was one that I just said, hey, this is what I'm doing a bunch of research on for the short selling side. And I said, I think this might actually be an opportunity. I actually posted this to Twitter just because I'm not gonna post something that's not a highly likely, a highly probable trade. This has been going down for a long time. I just noticed the signals. I noticed some behavior from the short sale volume, and I took a little play with this for fun. And we're seeing a little bit of upside, so that's good. If that can remain, if that can curl up on a daily chart, you would have divergence at that point. So I kind of like that one. But look at it, you know, look at it. Am I putting a bunch of money behind this? No, I'm just doing it more on the fun account. You think Nike might have bottomed? TLT is probably about to rip, to be honest. You have the market, and we'll probably discuss this tomorrow, but you kind of have a market where the dollar, like we've discussed this for a long time. We've discussed this for like weeks now. The dollar's going higher, yields are going higher, and the SPY is going higher. What do we always say when all three of those are going higher at the same time? Someone's freaking lying, okay? Someone's lying to you. Most of the time, the market is the liar, okay? Most of the time, the market is the liar. We're gonna see TLT most likely, you know, most of the time it would be that the yields are going to end up going down, and then the market comes down with it at this point, or the yields remain higher and the market comes down. Most of the time, the market's the liar. Nike, great move. I actually do like this. It looks very good. You're pretty much saying like, hey, yeah, high or low. You have a little daily divergence in there. That's nice. 2 hour steep divergence. Now, management of the trade had to come in, right? You had the double bottom. That one didn't play out. Okay, awesome. Then I see a 2 hour. Did I have a 30-minute under this? Ooh, didn't have a 30-minute under this, which is unfortunate. It was almost like a really, really good setup. Instead, it was just a 2 hour after a drop. So you still want to be aware that this thing could build up over time, or this could turn back down to create an even stronger base in some way. But you would say there's some pretty damn steep divergence between this low and this low. It's just you have that blip there. So if you need a divergence in the near price action, that's something I'd pay attention to. It's not bad. You said TLT is going to 200. Yeah, I think TLT is going to rip. I'm just being general. I don't know the timing of it perfectly, but I'd say, you know, now that we've really piled up and piled up and piled up, if we can confirm this as a higher low, that would be a good sign. Turn up on the 30-minute. The main thing here, though, is the daily has divergence. And eventually, right, if I take a 2-month option on this anywhere in these areas, most likely I'm going to catch that at some point. Or maybe a longer one, even like a 6-month or something like that. Just have a couple contracts there and then just say, oh, yeah, this thing's probably going to rip eventually. But is it ripping right now? Does it have a good opportunity to turn around right now? I would say if the 30-minute turns up, you might start that soon, like very, very soon, because these were some great basing out divergences. This was great. That led to the upside. This is really controlled. You notice how controlled that is. That leads to upside. Well, then you might have TLT actually rip. And we do have things that can cause some weird stuff to happen in the market. You have the Russia stuff going on, which is very interesting. We'll see what happens with that. You have all these meme stocks actually doing pretty well, right? We would say, or at least stocks with short seller problem. We won't call them meme stocks because they are real companies. Like AMC is a real company. I go to AMC every time I go watch a movie. I used to go to GameStop like every single weekend with my friends back in the day. So these are real companies and they're making real big moves. DJT is making big moves as well. DJT just put out that that application for a trademark on TruthFi. TruthFi is going to be I think it is a platform to, maybe someone could correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a platform to for crypto transactions. Yeah, Jackson, I hope that's helpful. It looks okay. It's just you always got to manage risk in this environment. You know what I mean? As long as you're managing risk the whole time, you see a decent signal, feel confident in it. Really be confident in yourself. That's the big thing. But yeah, DJT, I think that TruthFi thing could be seen as some good news there. We'll see. How'd that BKKT turn out? I'm sure that backed off. Oh no, it's just held sideways. Okay, the next opportunity for BKT might be soon. The next opportunity for BKT might be soon, actually. Funny enough, you do have what do we look for when it sees a big move? Well, you're looking for that 30-minute to get to the 5, right? Get to the center line, curl up into positive territory. Now, this second move might be some kind of trap. Be aware of that, but BKT might make its next move if it can turn up and get some positive momentum and we don't see some kind of funky behavior there. Baby girl is yelling, and Wolf is still going. Cool. Sick. Well, I mean, that was just one of my fun plays, but sick. I'm making sure to put money into, like, I'm doing research on this and using it to research the short sale volume and seeing if I can find any correlation. And so this was one that I said, okay, I think I figured out the correlation a little bit there. Not perfectly, obviously, but I just said, hey, this looks like this could be some kind of level. I just looked at the signals as well to see if they had the basing out on the shorter time frames, and good, solid so far. This thing fails a lot of the time though, right? It fails all the damn time. Goes up and fails all the damn time. So I'm not like trying to make a bunch of money out of this. I like to put money behind something when I'm testing it, even if it's just a tiny, tiny bit, just to be like, hey, it makes me pay attention to it, and that's what I like. Volatility is dropping off on that 2-hour. We got to see if that 4-hour crosses down. That 4-hour is crossing. What we're looking for from volatility is some kind of higher low or some kind of divergence. I think that both of those are very likely. If we're going to get an absolute blow off top and we don't make those divergences outside of 649 on the SPY, then we could see this really drop down to 1212 and create that later on, right? We pay attention to signals down by 1212. That's why we always mentioned it here, right? We mentioned it here. Okay, we mention it here. Okay, volatility takes off. That's where I made 400%. And the next day I could have made 4,000%. And I was very sad. And I was like, holy crap. That just got rid of any reversal signal and just went. Very cool. Oh yeah, let me pull something up over here. Make sure you get these on there. We're seeing the 30-minute not able to curl down at this moment. Maybe we want to get higher up first. Maybe we want to do this, then see that back off, get some kind of what you would say maybe handle consolidation, get this 30-minute to climb up a little bit, then curl down, then see that curl back up, and then maybe we can make something there. We'll find out. But this can take some time. This is a 2-hour crossing up into positive territory, and you have a lot of room. You have a lot of room. So you could end up all the way up to 1866 for the Qs and 649 for the SPY. Before we make those signals, right? The first points we want to pay attention to are daily and weekly expected moves. That's where we could see 30-minute consolidation. Tesla, let's go check on Tesla real quick, see what that's doing. Did it break? That's the thing. Did it break? It didn't break yet. And as you get into Friday, just note, you don't have a lot of time. So when you get out of this weekly, you don't have a lot of time anymore. So that can more so end outside of those expected moves. And then you can always go check on stuff. Ooh. UJT now up to 2.8%. You can always go check on daily expected moves over on Patreon. Go look at Tesla and say, hey, how high up is that supposed to go this week or today, right? How high up are we expecting this to go? Okay, now I have that level. Well, it looks like if we do break out of this, I just have to watch out. We can see something crazy, but if we see any kind of resistance, any kind of rollover from the 30-minute, I would just be cautious for some kind of trap right here. Is this the best opportunity? No. If anything, I think Amazon might be an okay opportunity if that can actually show some positivity and actually curl up this 2 hour. You could see a good move. It is likely to be a lower high. And I'm sorry my energy's a little low. I'm just a little bit under the weather. We all have like congestion going on over here now. So we do notice that Amazon did have the reversal signals. So this is one to still be caught. That's why upside is just cautious, right? I can sit back, relax, and wait for really good signals. And most likely I'm going to see some kind of trap signal to the upside, by the way. That is the most likely thing I see out there. Now we do notice the Dow Jones curling up into positive territory. That's great. The only thing is now you're running into a weekly expected move. This is somewhere that the 30-minute can back off. Is the 30-minute in danger of absolutely giving all this up? No, you can go a little bit of consolidation, have that 5 catch up, right? Kind of staggers up here. We consolidate in some way. We break through next week. That would be pretty solid. I do not see the reversal signals that say, hey, we are going to absolutely crush down, and you're even getting the daily to confirm back up. We'll see if this is a trap today. SPY, are we getting that daily to turn back up? And then I'm going to leave this on the SPY in a moment, but you can see how if we get up here, you can make a daily, you can make a 2 hour, and maybe even make a 30-minute all at the same time. That is something we will be posting. If we see it, we'll be posting that to page. We'll really be talking about it. If we set up these signals outside of monthlies, we're going to talk about it just like we talked about it with NVIDIA, right? Just like we talked about it with NVIDIA. Right here, you had the reversal signals that says, hey, this is going down. We said, not the best divergence. So you got to watch out if that falls through the floor, but it is likely to see that thing build back up. We saw the divergence with the 30-minute on the, what was it, the SPY, right, in this area. And then we head in the upward direction. Right, was that the same date? Was this the same? Yeah, October 31st. Was that right? Yeah, October 31st is when that started. So it was just after that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you guys on the SPY just for a moment here. I'm going to eat some breakfast. I got to keep some food in me. Got to keep my energy a little bit. Or at least keep feeding. I do not feel like eating at all. So just give me a moment here, and then I'll get back to the chat. Oh, spicy honey. Interesting. AMC is still refusing to curl down on the daily chart. That was the interesting thing about AMC. gosh. So guys, keep chatting in there. I'm gonna eat real quick, try to get my energy back. AMC up 1%, GME down 1%. We're chilling, waiting to see what this market wants to do this morning. If it wants to keep the direction it's going right now, it makes sense based on the 2 hour. And if that 30-minute curls down, 588.83 is what I'll be paying attention to. Let's see if this updated. The fear greed index is hitting a level of 61, so nothing crazy there, just in the greed slightly. It's a big change from yesterday, though. We went from like 51 to 61, right? And then throughout the day, we got up to 57, it looks like. Man, Palantir, I hope you're not just building liquidity for a big drop, because Palantir has a massive monthly expected move. It's way outside of it. You could end up 12 points down by late next week, and it would make total sense. That's just a lot. Amazon not really producing after crossing up, and it crossed up on a red bar. So NVIDIA going down to a key level. Let's check a daily expected move for NVIDIA. NVIDIA about 1 point off from touching the daily expected move. Still could have a little lower. Meanwhile, AMD really trying to carve this out as a low. Rejecting, getting that higher low. See if that daily can turn up. Are we going to see that blow off top of the blow off top of the blow off top? We'll see. Wow, Wolf now up 15% almost. Nice. It's not really affecting the option pricing just yet. And what was it? It was GME we got to keep our eye on, because that's confirmed. Just so you know, for GME, you're getting closes today. If you close above 2707, that'd be a good sign. I'm just gonna go check what people are talking about over here. Just see if anything newsworthy is popping up. Let's see if people are talking about Wolf real quick. Yeah, 16% now for Wolf, still going. Let me see. We've had 28% insider buying. So this is, you can't find anything good on Wolf. Nonsense out there. Like fair value for this one might be $44. I did buy that option for like a month. It's too memey though. Go look at its max pain for the day. Looks like, oh, max pain's $7. Interesting. AMC is still seeing that good move. Rejecting on the 30-minute again. If you guys remember, we were talking about this yesterday. It just refuses to cross on the 30-minute. It refuses to cross on the daily. And so that's a good sign until it changes. Like GME is changing, right? GME is changing. But AMC hasn't changed yet. It's actually saying like, hey, I'm really trying to hold up. I really want to make an upward move is what it's saying. It's just can it, you know? Look at that 30-minute. Keeps wanting to turn down for even a brief moment, and it just won't do it yet. Interesting. Wow. I'll keep my eye on it. All right, Qs. Got bacon going everywhere. Okay. Palantir failed the cross up. Microsoft's really building a ton of liquidity here. Holy crap, Microsoft is building a ton of liquidity. If you really just go look at Microsoft and you just go like this, you're like, oh my goodness, and this could be some kind of, you know, diamond thing going on. Just kind of wild. It's building a ton in there. We'll see what happens. Oh, there it goes. It's starting to pop a little bit. See if that 2-hour can confirm up. Gotta find a better place to find data on that one. Don't worry, guys. I'll get back to the chat in a second. I'm a slow eater, if you didn't know. I'm an annoyingly slow eater. Well, still 16%. AMC 1.5. You can see it just refuses to cross. You know, here's the thing. They really like this thing to close. Friday, below 450. Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Below 450. We have a Friday in here where this didn't happen. Friday. Below 450. Go back. Friday. This thing closed. Below 450. We'll see. We'll see if they actually, this thing can hold its run if it wants to run today. Alright, focusing up. Let me eat. keep my eye on that. The options just popped a little bit for AMC, so I'm gonna keep my eye on it. It makes sense to slide upward move, but just on this. I'd probably be better off just not looking at anything and actually eating. That'd get it done faster. AMC now 1.45. DJT 2.16. We've got Tesla. Has it broken yet? Nope, haven't seen a break there. 30-minute charts. Just crazy. If you have the weekly expected moves, you're just like, wow, Tesla has tapped that weekly expected move twice this week. 3 times. Almost 3 times. You know exactly where it will land at least, and then it could burst through today. By the end of the day, we'll see. PLT trying to confirm on the 30-minute. That can go positive, pretty good sign. We'll go look at yields over here. Yields coming down. Daily divergence for yields is dropping down. Yo, all of these are trying to run at the same time. You got AMC, you got DJT, you got potentially even SMCI, you got Mara that already went up to higher levels, you got Wolf trying to make a move. You got a lot of these stocks with potential short seller problems, just like going kind of nuts. Or at least doing something positive at the same time. It's kind of wild. Volatility is doing on the shorter time frame here. Not trying to turn up yet. IWM seen something crazy today. There is a tiny little 15-minute divergence forming here, not confirmed for IWM. Is it out reaching outside of a daily expected move? Yeah, you're reacting directly towards a daily expected move with this push for IWM. Just outside of the weekly. Consolidation here would be good. Pulling back into the weekly and, you know, resisting off that daily range would make sense. Oh. GME, a little bounce there. You don't have 30-minute reversal signals from GME, just so you're aware. I'm just paying attention to these today because it's just very interesting that no reversal here. Notice here you had it. This could be just one more pull down, see if that 30-minute could cross back up. There's no way. No way. That one refusing to curl down. I just finished my sandwich, so now I can get back into it. Cool. Sorry, my husky was trying to lick up my plate. Can't deal with it today, buddy. My energy's not there. All right, GME curls up on the 30-minute. We can see good stuff, right? 30-minute curl up. Hey, that's a reaction to the 5 again. Looks cool. DJT, still seeing that resistance come in, not really getting that full breakout moment. SMCI had the reversal signals, completely getting rid of them right now, so great move. Let's see, Mara was one, a little worried about. We'll see if that 30-minute can whip back up. And Palantir. Really want to see if Palantir can curl up on the 2-hour. Then I can make a weekly expected move, and where are we most likely to gravitate to next week? Weekly expected move. GME actually flipping to positive now. Tesla, have we seen a break? Tesla, if you're going to see something crazy, go for it, dude. I'm down. I don't care. I like seeing my boy Elon's stock rise. Apple, ooh, okay. This is kind of getting sketchy. Like, we're not seeing continued strength from Apple at all. We're not seeing any kind of breakout moment. We're not seeing, like, it's not very good looking. You do have a little 2-hour flat, but it's not really an overbought territory. That's what I like. Oh man, is this going to be another little trap? We'll see. Once again, I'm still leaning towards stocks mainly making a move higher. This can play out in a bunch of ways. This could take more time. I still would like to see some kind of reversal signal up here. If it does just like end at these levels at today and then fall, that would be more of like a, I would say, black swan moment at that point, unless there's profit taking into the end of the year or something. They're trying to get people faked out for the Santa rally. I'll be paying attention to this. This happens, that's when I'll really be paying attention. Yeah, very, very, like I look through these on the right, like I'm just looking through and I'm just like, things are interesting. You've got IWM seeing something crazy going to a daily expected move. SPY not doing something crazy and not going to a daily expected move. You got the Qs doing the same thing, even falling more flat than the SPY, not even trying to go for this gap yet. So are we, that tells me like if we're kind of lagging around here, do we need to really reload or are we just building liquidity in here? Because there's definitely liquidity right here, right? We know there's a flush with a buyback. There is liquidity right there. So if we need some, that's where you would go. Crazy. And then you got TLT, which is reversing back down. Not a good cross-up. Gosh, such a interesting spot to be here. Tesla right now still curled down on that 30-minute. So most likely to the downside as of right now. That flips back around. It can go higher. Maybe you see something crazy, but you will be outside of a daily and a weekly expected move if you go like that. Microsoft was one that's building, getting very wonky. So we can just look at this and go, okay, if I get that 2-hour to turn up, get above the 5 and close, I'm a happy boy. Netflix was the one that was just screaming higher. Moving sideways right now. Not a bad sign. Little reversal here. You would expect this to go sideways or even back off to get the next move higher. We want a very clear setup here for something like Netflix that's very, very strong. You got to make sure that it is very clear. Okay, now NVIDIA continuing to drop, able to confirm the signal as of right now. If it drops through 142, this gets a little worrisome. Yeah, this gets a little worrisome. And I'm sorry, I'm just analyzing for the most part, just trying to look at my other charts, look at these charts, try to see what's going on here. But NVIDIA is showing some good weakness here. And that 2 hours in a spot where it can be really weak. Oh, this is the moment where you can start to see a new low then you come up and make that lower high, then you turn back down. We might be in that corrective move pretty soon here. I would really like to see SPY go for that 649 level, but if these things start confirming, then the most likely thing is we're turning down. The SPY hasn't given us that yet. But if this 2 hour turns back down, it's right by that center line. This is just a liquidity grab. Man, that would be not good for markets. And it's just weird to see some of these little, you know, other smaller stocks just start to pop all of a sudden. But is the yield coming down? Yield's not even coming down that much, so. Funky, funky, funky. 30-minute curls down, we're still in pullback mode. I think we just kind of go with the simplest thing, right? And just say, hey, if that 30-minute curls down, it can go negative, but it's still relatively positive. So that's gonna take, even if that went down pretty quick, that would take all day. That would take all day, and then you're still, even if you sell off like this most of the day, you're still just gonna be like in this zone at the end of the day. So some I actually would like is if we did flash down like this and just turn back up. I actually would like that. It's not that overbought. 2 hours still positive, 30 minutes still positive. So I don't know. We shouldn't really talk about that turning down until we see a little red blip. Do we see a red blip on any of the indices? Notice that the DIA, the Dow Jones, we're reacting to directly to the weekly expected move. That's where we stop, right? Oh, great bar, we stop. Okay, so we'll see what happens with this one. This one more so shows you at least a tiny bit of weakness, okay? Tiny bit of weakness. Just saying like, hey, if we wanted to break through these levels, okay, we might need to consolidate in some way and then see that thing turn back up. Get that 5, turn back up, right? That's something I'm paying attention to. Following the DIA. IWM showing a similar thing except reacting to a daily expected move. If you want the daily expected moves, they're on Patreon. Links down in the description. Okay, GME seeing a little pop there. And yeah, we still have the potential for this to build up. Now we can use that weekly though as support. That would be pretty solid. Just wanted to go show you guys real quick. AMC seeing a little pop there, almost 1%. Pretty cool. All right, NVIDIA. Just if NVIDIA can hold 142, I think it's all right. If it can't hold 142, that's gonna be a little bit of a problem if you lose that by end of day. Also, I did not drink any of my coffee. No, that tastes like ass. That does not taste good. Hey, Jackal. Love your thoughts on MSTR. Thank you for getting me back over to the chat. I'm sorry about that. I'm just like, my brain, a little sniffly. What are your thoughts on MSTR? Yeah, MSTR and Bitcoin. Well, there's two things. There's one thing for Bitcoin that's very obvious. It's just the short time frames can keep going up for a long time, and it can take a long time to form. As far as MSTR, in this, let's look at the 2 hour real quick. Okay, awesome. Let's look at the daily real quick. We got to get our statement here. Okay, so first off, if MSTR, MicroStrategy, if this actually saw a daily pullback, would we be saying, oh my gosh, that's going to fall through the floor? Probably not, right? We don't see reversal signals up here. Most likely that could get by the center line in some way and turn back up into positive territory. Even if that just reacted up and down and up and down and up and down and got to that 20, and then we actually turn up, hey, that's kind of what we're looking for at that point. So it's good to have the mental of what the daily looks like. And then we get the mental of the 2 hour. The 2 hour, we see something a little different, right? We see, hey, there is flat, if not slightly down divergence here for the RSI. You have no divergence on the MACD at the same time. So what does that tell me? That tells me most likely this could be some kind of quick A, B, C move and then be a 2 hour swing, right? 2 hour gets by the center line because we do not see very clear weakness here. That can curl over daily, so you want to pay attention if that daily starts to pull back, but we notice that there's no real strong weakness. There's weakness here just not strong enough for us to possibly go, I mean, unless this absolutely rug pulls, go past that center line. You see, if we headed in a straight downward direction, we would have to sell off for like 3 days. And that would look like this. Right? Like that's a lot. And usually you're going to find bounces. And what are you finding right now? A bounce. So we may still have more time in this pullback, right? We may not. But we could just see this 2 hour get by the center line. And I think that's the opportunity. And so what do we want to look for that opportunity? Well, I want to look at a 30-minute. I want to look at these shorter time frames, see what's going on, figure out what's happening. Has this 30-minute curled up? Well, oh, wait, the 30-minute doesn't even have a divergence in the near price action. So maybe we actually just see this react off the 5, curl up above these moving averages, and then go to a new high. That's the first thing I should pay attention to, is the 30-minute crossing up by the center line. So that's overall how you look at, I mean, how I would look at every single chart. And thank you so much for the $9.99, Jackal. But you can see here that the first thing I should really be watching is the signal that is most likely to happen first. Is a daily signal going to cross, or going to be able to cross down? Is a 2 hour signal going to be able to cross up? Or is a 30-minute signal possibly going to be able to cross up first? The 30-minute. The 30-minute, right? So I got to look at the 30-minute, but now I have all those things in my head. I go, okay, there's no daily divergence, there's no 2 hour divergence, and even here, there's no 30-minute divergence on both indicators at the same time. There's no strong forms of weakness. So if there's no strong forms of weakness, the first thing you have to do is usually make a 30-minute one, right? Then when you make a 30-minute either divergence or a lower high, right? Once you see that curl back down, you go, okay, now that 2 hour is going to pull further down. If that 30-minute gives me basing out signals, I know that 2 hour most likely curls back up and we see another good run, especially if this can hold up well. Right, if you start to dip down like this, and then you see that 2 hour cross up, you do have that chance, but it's just a lot of price. Whoa! It's just a lot of price action to take back. You would rather that kind of sees this, and maybe this 2 hour doesn't curl up. You see that 30-minute give the lower high, then we go down to here. You see something in here, and you go, okay, awesome. Then you can really go test these levels, go make a new one. And then after that, you go, oh, now we're making 2 hour divergence. Here's that daily pullback, and that's the thing. These things can take so much time. Because all of that was just to find the 2 hour, and if that makes a weakness signal there, then you go, okay, now the daily is going to turn down. Well, what did we say about the daily? Is this really, really, really bearish? It can be. This can fall through the floor. This could be some kind of massive trap, but most likely this is just going to get by the center line and curl up one more time. Carvana pop. Oh yeah, Carvana as well. Bitcoin's very obvious, but can really behave weird. So the only thing I want to say about Bitcoin is look at the daily. Most likely, if we experience weakness, you do have a signal that's forming here. If you experience weakness, think of what I just said about MicroStrategy. What is the most likely thing to happen with Bitcoin? And this is where I posted it to Twitter, and I said, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, oh, people are thinking Santa rally into the end of the year. I will, visionary. And then we're going to drop this thing. And then people will say, oh my God, no Santa rally. And then it's going to turn back up and we're going to get Santa rally. Like that's how I think they could confuse and hurt the most people. It doesn't have to play out like that, but you can see that mental here. And that kind of makes sense when you look at a 4 hour. 4 hour, you see it's dramatic. Okay, so anytime that 4 hour turns down, I'd be paying attention because most likely you're going to get a daily pullback. It is Bitcoin and it is doing crazy things though. So if that 4 hour just whips back up, positivity, right? Managing trades. As far as it goes for the SPY, then we might check over on Carvana. We can go look at this real quick and just show the 2 hours turned up, the 30-minute is still turned up. Now we're seeing weakness in a very big stock. I know you want to look at the SPY, but let's pay attention to a big stock. This is confirming divergence right now for NVIDIA. Notice that if you're really wondering why all these meme stocks are popping, well, I mean, NVIDIA, they always say, even I've said, NVIDIA might experience weakness when these things actually pop, and we're seeing NVIDIA complete a 30-minute divergence while all these memes start to pop off. So something that I would like to think about in the SPY is NVIDIA is a heavy weight, right? Should I expect this to be some kind of crash? No, but I should treat this like it can be bad until we get to an area where we could start to base out. All right, you do not have big reversal signals here. You have a 30-minute that's relatively high up. If you just curl down and curl back up, you're going to see probably something like this, or reach down a little bit deeper, and we'll see. But that's not even curled down yet, right? Once we switch the time frame, 2 hour. Does this look really bearish at this point? Not necessarily. We don't have reversal signals. We don't have anything. Now, if that 30-minute curls down and can't curl back up and the 2 hour starts to cross down, we can go a little bit deeper. But the most likely thing to do here is actually probably do something like this still. And then this is when the trap is really set sometime next in the next couple of weeks. That's how I'm thinking about the SPY. What do the signals look like for the SPY? They're all bullish, except for the daily, I think, right? The daily's turned down a little bit, but it's still in positive territory. So the time where you want to go, okay, I might need to react, we might go down to a daily expected move, is when that 30-minute crosses. Okay, Carvana. I do want to go look at this. I want to look at some of these. This is fun. Ooh. All right, 2 hour really good consolidation, actually. You even got a fake out. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's not awesome for a lot of people, but a great little consolidation. You're getting a breakout moment. Should you expect this to go to the sky? Depends. Depends. I don't know if there's a problem in this one at all, but that's just it's a fantastic move. That's all I could say. You're getting rid of all the divergences, so most likely you're in a new sequence. If it's a trap, then that's unfortunate, but usually when you see us get rid of this, right, you notice on the RSI we're coming above those levels. If we can really see a move like this one, you just really rock it up, you're probably in a new sequence. I like it. It's a good little 2 hour curl up and it's happening now. You just got to see. Here's the thing. If there is, I don't know if there's a problem in Carvana. Someone's got to tell me, okay? Someone's got to tell me if there is. I haven't looked at it. XRP I did look at, actually. Yesterday for my friend. My friend said, hey man, what do you think about XRP? I could maybe look at that in a second. The Ripple, I think my brother has some. But, and we'll look at HGX too, actually, because I haven't looked at that today. Why is someone bringing up HGX? But if there's a problem in this, I mean, and I don't think there would be at this point because of that, but we'll see. The main way I just want to look at this is just, hey, curled up, it's getting rid of the divergences, awesome. If I'm in this on the daily scale, well, that daily did roll over. You're seeing that 2 hour confirm back up. It's seeing something absolutely crazy for a while now. Is this the best time to get in? Short term, you'd say maybe. Long term, not necessarily, right? If we're looking at this just based on, hey, this is a stock, we're looking at momentum, this would be a time to be like, ooh, let me look at a weekly. And that's pretty high up for a weekly. It's still going. And then it would say, hey, let me look at a monthly. And the monthly turned up a long time ago, and you notice that when a monthly turns up, this is how you invest, right? Monthly turns up here, boom, 12 to 24 months. Then it crosses down, you go, ooh, that's gonna be bad for 12 to 24 months. Then it crosses back up and it goes, oh, I'm good for 12 to 24 months. So do I see weakness on the weekly scale? You're getting rid of the weakness, right? So you can experience pullbacks, but most likely this is a whole new sequence. It's been the sweetheart car company for the last 6 months. Okay, good. That's what I was saying. It's just a rapid move. Yo, when I first, back in the day, I was looking at Carvana stock. I actually think I had this stock. Maybe it was 2021. I think it was 2021. I did invest in it for a little bit of time. Yeah, I think it was 2021. Because I really liked it. I thought Carvana was such an interesting company. I thought it was so interesting. I thought it was so cool. We can check on the VIX 9-day. Not really seeing much over here, though. The 30-minute, if we see any signals here, it's just saying, hey, I might turn up for a little bit. You already kind of confirmed, I would say, almost double top. What was I supposed to look at? HGX. I'll look at that further over the weekend. We'll talk about some of this stuff over the weekend. HGX. I want to spread this out. Okay. Why is the housing market about to absolutely rip. Because that is what this signal is saying today, if that holds. That is showing some divergence that's not even in the oversold territories there. That is interesting. That is interesting. HGX looks like, hey, that daily is turning up. We're confirming divergence. That is huge. These divergence between these 2 points, very flat. Come back down. You got the lower, the higher low. Now you're taking back the 5 and confirming a big daily signal. Let's look weekly. Weekly confirmed divergence too. Wow, you have the chance to make a little triple divergence. This might be a trap as well. This could go like this for a few weeks and then plummet. Wow, what a divergence though. Very, very cool. Great find, whoever was paying attention to HGX. Thank you. Because that is awesome. Let's go look at our buddy Nail. Because Nail's the one you trade. Oh, Nail. Gosh, man, if Nail takes off, that's crazy because it had so much weakness up here. That you got to be aware if this thing rolls down, guys. That's a lot of weakness up here. But this is saying, hey, I want to go into a positive trend for a little while. Like, if this can cross the center line, if this can go like this and build up over time, you could be in this new sequence. You could see this again, right? Just see that again, like, up here. Wow. NVIDIA, hopefully it's buying itself back up right now. Hopefully it's buying itself back up because NVIDIA's in danger right now. 142. If you hold 142, if you can hold 142, you gotta hold 142, and I mean by end of day. Hopefully not shorting. Okay, hopefully not. Hopefully NVIDIA burns for SID. Hey, there we go. My Wolf contract is worth some money now. 100% on my Wolf contract. Yay! Sorry, had to say that real quick. It is one of the smallest plays I've ever done in my trading career. I will say that. So that 100% is worth pretty much nothing. I will tell you that right now. Oh, GME. Sorry about that. RN, hopefully you're still here. You wanted to see some people mentioning GME trying to get that breakout moment. Got to see the 30-minute curl up. I made 1,500 on one. Wow, you went for it. Okay, cool. Were you paying attention to it the whole time? I'm serious. I told you guys I was doing research on this. 32 cents, big win on Wolf. Happy for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Got lucky. I'm researching the crap out of this one. Because you see how much it just got crushed. Okay, well, you can't see it if I accidentally do that. But you see how much it's been just crushed over time. And I was like, that's really weird. And so I just researched the company a little bit. I know they fired their CEO or something, resigned or something like that. But I just think it's interesting. TNA doing good. That's that 3X IWM, you know what I'm saying? VIX, are you going to turn back up? The VIX isn't even turning up. It's so crazy that NVIDIA is doing this. Volatility is not even turning up. Insiders are buying Wolf. Yeah, I heard there was like a 28% increase in insider buying. That came out like yesterday, but I did my analysis 2 days ago, and I've been researching the short sale volume to figure out when this thing does see runs. And pretty much now, and then I had good signals, so I was like, yeah, let me put some money behind it. That way I pay attention to it. Go, Wolf, go. Go, Wolf, go. I mean, it's still only 15, like 16%. You still need this. You still need the daily. If you can get that daily, this could be the start, but you need that daily. That's the real run. The real run is daily turns up and you break through this. That's the real run, and then this thing hits like $40. Because that's what I think it's worth. I think it's worth like 40 bucks. I don't know if it'll run all the way to there, right? But that's what I think it's worth. I'll probably end up taking profit earlier, but just because it's a little play, if I can turn that tiny amount of money into even like you know, what, 600 bucks, I'll be happy. I'll be like, cool. I'm not going to put a ton of skin in that game, just enough to make me pay attention to it. Gold still going, crossing up on the daily scale. That is freaking crazy because it was way outside of a weekly. Actually, it was way outside of a monthly. Holy crap. I'll just tell you, the monthly was around 240. You know where the monthly was? It was like here. And you were way outside of that thing. And now you're seeing that thing run. I would like consolidation where it's at. But that... So you're telling me gold could end up at like 250 again soon. Gold could end up at like 260 by the end of the month. That's so crazy. What a move from gold. And we were calling it out. I was like, this is where banks like to start to buy this stuff, global banks. TJT still a little lackluster, waiting for that daily scale to be able to turn up. SMCI still running. Still running. All right, let's go into the shorter time frames. Go back over to the SPY real quick. Make sure we're paying attention to the market, and then I'm gonna keep NVIDIA on my other screen. That thing needs to buy up from where it's at, genuinely. It has like a tiny bit left before 142. It's really got to see some support or else it's going negative and that thing can start to drop pretty significantly. You are not near a weekly expected move. You can drop on NVIDIA. So take this seriously, especially if this happens for NVIDIA. This is bad. We can catch a bounce at 142, maybe it saves itself, but if we curl down on a 2 hour, that is really close to negative territory. Might be a trap, right? We're paying attention to 142. But I'm just gonna let you know, this thing could flush like today. That's how you wanna treat it. Treat it like this thing could flush today if this 2 hour drops down. I'm sure Sid's like sitting there, I hope it does, but you got to get through 142. You got to close below that. And you can really see that volatility with the earnings there. Just surprised volatility is not popping off at all. What's holding this thing up? Is it Apple? Tesla, Apple. Not really. Yeah, what? Weird day. I like it. I think it's fun. Haven't broke through 142 yet, though, so not a time to be overly worried. Haven't crossed over the 2 hour yet, so not overly worried. I'll go look at some stuff real quick. We're not getting any hints here. Okay, volatility reconnecting with its 5. Let's go. Good. US Consumer Sentiment Index 71.8. 1 year inflation expectation coming in flat at 2.6. Cool. Check over in on Tesla again real quick. Ooh, uh-oh. Tesla, you about to see something crazy or set a trap? That's pretty much the options here. Do something crazy or set a trap. Am I gonna pray for something crazy? I'm probably not going to be trying for a Tesla play just yet. The time I'll play a Tesla play, by the way, just so you know, is if we go retest here. If we go to 263, 262. If we go to there, we see a daily pullback, this is a trap, we see a daily pullback, and then this goes like this, that's when I'll be in for that Santa rally. If it could get all the way down there. It could stop a little short. Good stuff. All right, SPY, now you have the chance to possibly roll. Q's already trying to do it, but reacting off of the 5, so that would be on a positive bar. We got to see how this ends in about 22 minutes. Let me go look at some short sale volume. How about that? because now it should be posted. Yeah, that was the kind of reaction I was looking for. Check on this guy. Okay, they don't seem worried about that one. And I'm not going to show this just because I'm still monitoring it. I'm still figuring it out. So I want to test it. The test was with Wolf. So far, it is working with Wolf, but you would expect from my analysis a bigger run than this at this point. So if this run fails, then it would be something different, and I'll have to go look back again. Mara is the one I want to check. Mara, oh my god, yeah, they do not want Mara. Mara is the one causing all the problems. Mara has, oh my god, I'll show you guys this one. Let's go look at Mara real quick. You wonder why Mara was struggling really hard up in these levels. Well, look at this short sale volume. They are freaked out that Mara's going to see something like January of 2024. What happened in January of 2024? That's July. Oh, I'm on a 30-minute, that's why. January 2020, that was 2021. Where's 2024? Right here. They're worried about this right now. They're worried. They're trying to clamp down on it like it's a high in 2024. And then, boom, another run in February. And you saw another peak there on February 28th. February 28th. So, weirdly enough, this is a peak. It's becoming a peak soon. We don't know when that peak will be. But what I'm analyzing, I'll tell you guys my findings once it actually makes sense. It might take a month for me to fully make it make sense. Great move. But yeah, they do not want Mara. Mara is just, whew, they are really trying to fight that one right now. And I think that's why all these other ones are running. Cool move. Wonder if they do this. Can you do? I don't know if you can do this. What did they do to BKT? Oh, BKT saw a major spike there too. BKKT. So all the other ones still haven't seen that spike from the short sale volume, which tells me they're really focused on Mara right now. At least that's what I'm trying to come up with. All right, SPY not able to curl down on that 30-minute. NVIDIA trying to spike up a little bit from the daily expected move. We actually did go to the daily expected move. Looks like we couldn't fully close below it. I'm just letting you know today because it's a wild day. But join the Patreon if you want to get all those weekly expected moves to know exactly where it is. SMCI, let's check this one. I haven't checked this one out yet. Oh god, yeah, SMCI as well. So SMCI and Mara are causing problems. As of Tuesday, SMCI had a short sale volume of 70.2 million. That's more that's more than Mara. And SMCI is still going up, so man. They might say job well done after this Friday. Sometimes that's what those peaks mean. Let's go look actually. October 24th. October 24th, and you see a little bit more run. And that does happen a lot. I noticed is once that peak comes in on the short sale volume, it can run a little bit higher and then it starts to fail. Now, if it doesn't peak out there and we see another spike, then it would say, hey, this thing might continue. They're still fighting it. All right, there you go. Wolf seeing a little bit more buying pressure, 17.39% now. Cool. I dig it. It's fun. It's exciting. Is it highly probable? Probably not. I always want to assume the fight will continue. GME still waiting on that 30-minute to turn up. No reversal signal for the 30-minute here. And this is a good example, by the way. You see divergence here. Awesome. You get rid of it with the first spike. Right? You notice that on the RSI. This is a level here. We come just barely above that. We totally violate it, which is great. Now you can go make that new series of highs, maybe, as long as they don't fight the stock. And they're not fighting GME and AMC as hard as other stuff right now. They're more worried about Wolf, Mara, SMCI. Okay, SPY. Still getting there. Do I have the right level for the SPY? Yeah, I do. Oh, I don't have the right level on my other chart. God dang it. Me getting this little bit of congestion is just like funking up all of my stuff real quick. Okay, what's the level I need to get at here on my other charts? 598.51, 588.83. God damn. I'm just being silly. The Dow trying to get some resistance off of the weekly expected move. Now it's caught in this awkward place. You don't want to turn down on the daily. You want to see this extend a little bit more before the DIA. It's similar to the SPY. We want to see a 30-minute pullback at some point, but I think we want the SPY to get more excited. I think you want the SPY to do this, then get that 30-minute to pull back, then do this. I think that's the best scenario to catch some kind of good topping signals. I think that's the best one. All right, what are you guys chatting about? Sorry about that. Tesla is ripping. There you go. Tesla able to break through. Now ripping higher. Immediately seeing something crazy, by the way. You're immediately past that level. Wolf next resistance at 815. We shall see. For natural gas, if the daily curls down, and what ticker do you like for natural gas? Right, there's a few. I think this is one. Yeah, that's the one. I would say natural gas, good reaction, at least if I go look at the one that I look at, by the way. This one here, if you really go look at this and you just say 2 hour, okay, if that 2 hour crosses down, it's bad, but this is a great breakout, right? You wanted to see that consolidation at this level. Instead, you just consolidate before and you gap above it. That's great. But notice that we saw a rapid move, so we're going to want to test that 5, and that's what you're doing now, and it happens to line up with where you just gapped out from. So that's a great retest at this point. If you're going to see this head higher, the 30 minutes is going to curl up. I don't see reversal signals from the 30 minutes, so I think that could be likely. The 2 hour, though, if the 2 hour backs off, you could have more time in this. We could fondle around in here for a little bit and then see if that 2 hour can get by the center line to curl up. So I still think the 30 minute, if that can curl up, that has more room. And then if you look at the daily scale, you're going, hey, this thing is still just great. If that daily rolls over at any time, that's bad, right? That's going to be bad. So if that daily rolls over, you should not expect natural gas to keep going up. That's just pretty obvious, actually. Yeah, that's how I see that one. Oh, you like Boyle? Let's go look at the actual one here. Is this leveraged? Ratios Ultra. Bloomberg natural gas. I don't think this is. Why can't I see if it's leveraged? Am I being dumb? Pretty sure it is, but Yeah, it's leveraged, isn't it? Yeah, 3x leverage. So you really want to look at, I think you want to do your analysis on UNG. You're going to see a similar thing. It's just going to be wonky, right? You notice the head and shoulders doesn't look as good because it's 3x leverage. So I'm assuming there's decay. Jaehyun. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but I'm trying. Just see if this has decay in it, first of all, because most likely it does, because it looks a little bit different. It's coming down over time than UNG. So you'll notice this is much more flat. So what I just want to talk about is the fact that if the daily does cross down, that's bad, right? You can see this. That's not a good sign. If we look on the weekly scale, though, look at that. It looks like natural gas. If you really zoom out on things, you would go, ooh, looks like UNG is making a good bottom here. It's trying to, which means what? Which means that the monthly could start to rotate up. The monthly already has, and that had divergence. So UNG, as far as an investment goes, it says over the next 12 to 24 months, it's pretty confident that that can head up as long as this daily doesn't turn down, okay? As long as the daily doesn't turn down, when you zoom out on things, you go, hey, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, so I would say that in the longer term, I'm pretty bullish on natural gas there. But you see how I have to think in my head of how I can get screwed, and my brain just does that automatically. I'm like, but if that daily turns down, I'm switching that for a little bit of time, and then we'll see how it plays out. You're moving sideways, guys, by the way. You're moving sideways right now. You're seeing big little, like on the short time frames, these would be considered bigger swings, but overall, you're moving sideways. We haven't decided a direction yet. And until we get a break and we really see this cross, we can't even talk about pullback. And then if we make any kind of signal down here to turn back up, that's when we'll look for that move. I would still like the SPY to get more like this, then see this, then see this, and then we just get that very obvious, and I'll be pointing that out. That's when I'll probably be buying volatility. I'll probably be scaling into volatility once we get up towards 649. I do believe we'll get there, but maybe something bad happens because markets are being weird. You got all these little guys staying positive. Traded but don't stay long. Yeah, I think for me, most of my investments, I don't try to hold them longer than 2 years. Usually within 2 years, you're going to see a signal that kind of gets you out of it soon enough. If you like natural gas, they operate pipelines. Let's check out KMI then. Let's look at something fun. Kinder, see, that's the problem. Do you see this? That's a big problem for me. Let me look at daily first. Yeah, see, this is a big problem. More so just saying, like, even more so now, it's like I really would pay attention to something like this and just say, ooh, that is a rapid upward move. We see a bunch of divergence on the RSI up here, or down here, but not on the MACD. But the 2 hour, you're going to see that very obviously, right? Very flat. This could just be a bigger pullback, I would say, right? And then it heads in the upward direction, but I don't necessarily like this look, right? Anything that looks like this, I'm not going to be trying to invest in, right? Anything that looks like this, I'm not going to be, I mean, it has based out from a low. Actually, maybe it does have room, but you would just say, hey, this thing could back off at any time. So maybe I just look for something else. I think like UNG itself would be the, I guess, quote unquote, better because it's just at the lows for an investment. Tends to drop hard around April. Okay, that would make some sense. I think it does need that to pull back on the daily scale before I can say anything. Let's look at weekly. And then we're going to get back to the market. But yeah, see if the weekly would back off. This is a great breakout, by the way. Great breakout. But if we could retest that, then move up, that's when I would make more of a decision. And then maybe I'll pay attention to April, right? So that's what you're saying. Oxy is a great setup. We've talked about this multiple times. Oxy, fantastic setup for the what was it? It was the daily, right? Daily in here, great setup for the daily, great setup. And then you got to pay attention to rejection at a key level. That would be 55.70, somewhere in there, right in these lows. It's very obvious, right? If it's very obvious, let it be obvious, right? Okay, here, 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 maybe even here, 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 right? So we can look at that and just say, where do we need to pay attention? Well, if this is going to see a run, then we'd probably pay attention to right here. And look at that. Ooh, resistance came in there the first time. So if we can take that back, that would be a good sign. And then maybe we can go test one of these levels. But I like the look of this. I've talked about it a lot. This is what you learn in the course. This is the golden setup. The golden setup is in this. All right. This is the golden setup that we talk about in the course. The course, by the way, guys, 90% off, right? Only for, what is it, 9 more days. So if you're trying to learn over the weekend, find that golden setup. If you just sit around and wait for golden setups, your probability of winning in those trades is very high, as long as you're taking profit and things like that on the way up. But Oxy, finding a good base here, that just tells me I think this weekly is going to turn up. Still managing the trade, right? We're not out of the woods yet. We haven't crossed up, and we haven't gotten back above 55.70. So I need to make sure to manage throughout, but it would suggest with the golden setup that the weekly is going to turn up there. Yeah, I like Oxy a lot. Actually, let me look at my investment portfolio, because I can still get into that. We'll look at that. Mark that for after the stream. I can take my time with an investment one and just see if I really like it, where it's at right now. The Widowmaker. TRP or XRP? We could look at Ripple real quick, by the way. Let's see, where's the Binance dollar? There it is. You see how Ripple's seen a great move? And this is what you're gonna notice, is if you look at a 4-hour, and we just talked about Bitcoin, okay? We just talked about Bitcoin. This is something to really watch out for with things like Ripple, because Bitcoin might be able to hold up a little bit. Like Ripple could hold up down towards this liquidity in here, right? Some good buyers most likely in here. If I bring up a volume profile or something like that, it's probably going to be right here. So that's where I'd pay attention, but that is divergence. So you do have the opportunity to cut that. You have the opportunity to go negative if this rolls over. Okay, so just watch out. That could be a daily pullback at this point. And what if that's just a bigger one, right? That daily pullback, points that I'd pay attention to, right? That little bit of liquidity in here. So probably a, what? I don't know if it's actually $1, but right there. And then I'd look across and just say, okay, right in here. And if I really look when I drew that, I think it came to, where's this area? 0.85. 0.75 to 0.85, and I think 0.85 is a good level too. It just tells me if that 4-hour does rotate down, we can see a bigger pullback on the daily scale. And then look for that swing, right? This is just swinging back up. Awesome, take back the 200 and all the moving averages, boom, keep it simple. Now, do we have weakness at this moment? The 2 hours suggesting flatness, you may need to make a divergence in the near term. Now, wouldn't this add up to what we're thinking that the market will do? Won't this add up to what we think maybe even Bitcoin will do? It's kind of adding up to, hey, we got to go make a 2-hour, a significant little divergence on a lot of things before we can talk about pullback. And then you go, why is all of this stuff making the signal at the same time? Is it just a correction? Which is something I'm leaning towards, but is Tesla still ripping, by the way? Because it did break out. Yeah, Tesla doing good. Tesla doing good. It's seeing something crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if this is either a trap or you're going to see something crazy. This is either a trap or the 2 hours just going to keep going here. And more so even now, you probably... No, the 4-hour looks real flat. But you see how that 2-hour can cross up and then you see it. This could still be a trap today. That's why I'm like, is Tesla a great opportunity? Most likely it needs a bigger pullback. You see how a lot of these things need a bigger pullback. And so if we did just get a full Santa rally for 30 days, that would kind of just look like a squeeze like this. And we would just keep going and keep going and keep going. And then January, man, I would be very worried about it. So I would like that pullback before we get some kind of rally with Prism. There's room to run given the current run up. For SMCI, you just want to be, I mean, a lot of these like SMCI are what was the signal that you really should have got in at. And SMCI, weirdly enough, it was the 2 hour. The 2 hour here was something we mentioned like once. We don't pay attention to SMCI too much, but we did mention it once, I think after it happened. I think it was like here. Then we saw a little pullback. What we want to see is this going to be a rapid move up still? Well, then you're going to look for these little opportunities, right? Little opportunities. If you really want to catch these runs, since it's very good, you want to see, hey, can that 30-minute get by the center line and cross up? Because now you're running into a problem, Jeffrey. The problem is, if this 30-minute curls down now, yeah, sure, that can curl back up. But you are getting a weakness in momentum signal. You're getting that signal on the RSI just slightly down at the same time. So that tells me this could pull back a little bit deeper. This could go into a negative trend for a little bit, right? We could do something like this and then end up curling up. Watch out for head and shoulders, right? So the timing with it's going to be important. Obviously, if things start to turn up on, weekly or monthly scales, that's more important. But the monthlies turn straight down and trying to buy back up. The weekly is still turned down. So as we look at the daily crossing up, we kind of want to see a signal like this. You see how that little thing produced this pop? Well, we don't necessarily have that. So you always have the opportunity to go do that. All right, and we just talked about maybe seeing some kind of downward push, some kind of daily pullback or daily drop before we actually see the next rally, some kind of corrective move. So if that would happen, then I would get pretty bullish on SMCI for a bit. But right now, at this exact moment, I don't like these looks on the 30-minute. This is more making me think this can do that. At least go reconnect with the 5. If it holds up better, that's great. VIX is falling. Yes, VIX actually crossed on the, about to cross on the 4 hour like we were discussing, right? So if that continues, that can continue for a little while, right? But the 4 hour crosses down, I want to look for the higher low. I'm being genuine. I think the higher low is the more likely scenario with the timing, but we'll see. I'm paying attention to higher low for the 4 hour. I'm paying attention to a divergence for the 4 hour. If we just see dailies go massively up, we're probably going to make something more towards 12.12. We might just see this thing actually go more insane. Breaking 350 was the thing. Yeah, that's true. And that's pretty much the key level, right, Lisa? All right, let's go check on the SPY, though. Nothing really to worry about just yet. Like I said, I'd still like to see that 30-minute actually go higher. Should we do our little 5-minute things for the last... I'll stay live a little bit longer because you guys have been great, and Jackal gave $10, so I'll stay a little bit longer. The 5-minute, now you're seeing a bunch of weakness. This is when you want to pay attention. If that 5-minute rolls down, you're probably going to get that 30-minute pullback now. You see how when the 5-minute, it can be super wonky. That's why I don't encourage it, right? But it's when you get close to that center line that you go, ooh, now that 30-minute is very close to crossing. And if that did that, most likely that crosses the 30-minute and we go negative on the 5. So this is where I would just be a little bit careful. Doesn't have to. It is turned up right now. So it is not likely to happen until that 5-minute curls down. But I think we're going to... if this 5-minute turns down, I think you're going to get that 30-minute pullback. I don't know how steep that would be, right? If you say, oh, the 5 minutes making a double top, okay, then we might go down to like 590. Do this, do this. Maybe we go, and then we see those signals. I told my wife to call me Jackal. She said no. Damn. Tell your wife that. Oh, ew. Wait, ew. When did you call her to tell her to call you Jackal? Because now I'm thinking weird shit. Call me Jackal. I don't know why I just imagine Jackal. I don't even know what you look like, and I imagine you, like, if you've ever seen MacGruber during the scenes where they're making love. But that's what I imagined. And that's not a good imagination. I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right, so 5 minutes. Let's watch it for a little bit. Let's see if this actually proves it, right? I like to show, you know, people think I can't day trade or something. I can. It's just, I don't, it's so stressful. I don't like to do it. Tut. Oh, God. Tug, are you guys okay? All right, so 5 minute here. This is where you really want to see, hey, if that curls down, that's where the weakness can come. If we get rid of this, then that's where most likely we will actually head to the upside, probably test a weekly expected move. Very interesting to get this close to a weekly expected move and not tag it, because you gravitate towards it. Time to go pound some cunts. Oh, 18% now. Hey, thanks, Wolf. I'm praying it dumps to 593. Well, then you're hoping this 5 minute curls over. So we'll watch it with you for a little bit. How about that, visionary trader? He has a vision. And it's the vision of the SPY going to 593. We're going to manifest it like a white girl drinking her Starbucks coffee. We're going to manifest that shit. Wow, okay. That food actually gave me some energy. I feel a little better. I still got all that, like, phlegm, but I'm not coughing, not sneezing. The most annoying thing is when you're laying in bed and you're just trying to go to sleep and you constantly have to be like, oh, it's so annoying. How does NVIDIA look? Well, NVIDIA's in a rough spot now, but it's actually in a spot where it should bounce. Okay, so the fact that we saw that bounce off of 142-ish, 142.50 makes total sense to us, especially if you're part of the Patreon, right? But we did confirm a big signal here. So over the next couple hours, you gotta be watching this. This is very important to pay attention to by the end of the day. Okay, if you want NVIDIA to fall and this crosses on the 2 hour, then you're probably gonna get NVIDIA to fall next week. All right, that's what your signal would be telling you if that crosses over the MACD really close to the center line. If you want NVIDIA to go up, you don't want that signal to happen. You want this 2 hour in positive territory to go up to higher levels. You want the 30 minute to whip back around pretty much right now. I think with Bitcoin, it's just really dependent on, does the weakness come in soon? Does the weakness come in soon? And really think about it. I mean, the 4 hour has not crossed yet, right? The 4 hour hasn't, but you do have that weakness there, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem. But it does mean, hey, what if this is just a corrective move and then we go and do something like this for that, say, Christmas rally, right? I think we'll see a moment soon, maybe not right now, but soon, where people start to go, oh no, we're not gonna get the Christmas rally, and then we're gonna base out and end up seeing it. If we're not gonna do that, we're gonna see something uglier. We're gonna see weeklies just turn down and dailies turn down and not be able to turn back up. Right, but I have a hard time believing Bitcoin's not going to hit 100K because there's no reversal signal in sight. If you really look back to those pivotal moments, even towards here, you had a divergence, at least on the RSI, that was very, very steep. Right now you have it, but it's not the steepest. It's flat-ish. Back in the past, when you're going to see something like a big pullback, which just means that could, hold up at higher levels. If you're going to see a bigger pullback or something like that, you most of the time do see. You see this big top. What did you see at the top? Divergence. What did you see at the top? Very significant divergence. Uh-oh, bad. If you just learn these simple things and trade Bitcoin based on the daily, you can just sit there, wait for a divergence to the downside, buy. Sit there, wait for a divergence to the upside, sell, right? Because look at this, bam. Now you can make a bunch of them. You can make a bunch of them. Look at this, a bunch of them. But overall, you would say, okay, maybe I do it on the weekly scale or something like that. But they do pop up. So the fact that they're not popping up right now should tell me, okay, maybe this just reconnects with the 20, right? Reconnects with the 20, turns back up, then we see weakness. And guess what? That would take you above 100K. I mean, my ultimate target, 128,948. So like 129K was the measured target. Wolf next up, 815. Let's go. 20%. Wow. Yo, am I being smart with the short sale volume? I just like started to research. I told you guys I researched it for like 5 hours. And Wolf was one of the stocks I was paying attention to. We'll see. It has to continue, it has to curl up. We got to see the momentum signals, right? But I had enough analysis in here to say, let me try it. Let me try it. Cool. I dig it. It's just that now I want to see the momentum signals prove it. Man, is that going to cause some liquidity issues in the market? Are we just going to keep squeezing? Oh yeah, let's look at the 5 minute, guys. We were still paying attention to this. It's hanging on by a thread now. We're looking at this, hoping for visionary. His vision is scary because this 5 minute has not rotated down. Okay, the songs I make up for my daughter are much better, I guarantee you. Visionary. The game that me and my wife play is TFT. And there's a class in it now called Visionary, by the way. They never missed. They missed. Oh God, it always happens like that, Sid. You know what I mean? It always happens. You know, it's like, oh, they see good earnings, and you go, this one's got to be good. Bad. Unlucky. Sorry about that, Sid. Not trying to laugh at that 30% down day or whatever, but it's just ironic all the time, isn't it? I've done the same thing, by the way. Like, I feel like every trader's done that. They've been like, huh, oh yeah, this has to be good. Every earnings is good. Ah, it's bad. Jackal and Sid, the sloth from that movie. Wait, Jackal and Sid. You know what? The best sloth in any movie is that bunny movie where the bunny's a cop, that cartoon. And that sloth is like the government official or whatever. And it's like stamping something. And it's just, oh, that just cracks me up. I look forward to watching shows with my daughter. Also, we have not gotten this 5 minute to confirm down yet. Zootopia, that's it. I thought Zootopia was a good little movie. All right, so we're still just chilling. CGC going to squeeze. Let me go check, Shane. Let's go check. I'll tell you what, I'll do the full thing here for you. CGC, let's see. Canopy growth. Holy crap, that's a good start. Oh my goodness, actually canopy growth looks like a decent signal if it can confirm soon. Actually, that doesn't look bad. Let me check the short sale volume real quick if they have that. You think it's gonna squeeze? Well, then you gotta get some shorts in there. Yeah, okay, cool, awesome. So CGC, canopy growth. Do you have a 2 hour signal? Not the best. Little divergence or little rejection divergence at the low. 30 minute divergence at the low. Now you're basing out. So the main signal for CGC is just can a daily turn up. If a daily can turn up, I think you have a great shot to take out 560. I think you could head up towards 615. Here, I'll show you. CGC. You guys want to see the good signal? Daily. So daily looks like what? Oh, okay. Well, we saw a divergence down there. Boom. Saw a good pop. Now we're making that next point, and you're holding that divergence very, very well. So that's good. So the pair area that I think you get past, right up in here. I think you could test that level. If you can get past that, then I would say right here. 617. Lows, buy back up from outside of there, low, 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 gapped below it to break it. So very important level there. If you reject from there, not a good sign. But yeah, I like that. That's just divergence, really. That's just blatant right there. And you see on the 2 hour, you don't have the best, right? You could always rotate back down, make one. But you do have it flat on the RSI, rejection on the MACD. Bunch of little 30-minute ones. Very wonky. So daily turns up, I'd be happy with it, which is very similar to this one, right? Daily turns up, I'm happy with it. Divergence in the past, making a better point of divergence, right? Staying at that line, the purple comes below this, so that's good, right? I just want to see if this thing can keep going. Same with Canopy. And I did just look at the short sale. Okay, so one of the things I'm doing, I'll share this with you guys, is when they see a stock run, that's when they start to fight it, right? So CGC, you look at the short, and I'll just don't take too much of this, take it with a grain of salt. I haven't looked at it for this stock, but you'll notice here that a lot of the time, and I'd have to look through the stock, but a lot of the time when you see those runs, it peaks and then it runs a couple more days, but as that comes down, the battle has already been won by the short sellers. So now you're looking at a bottom that's looking to go up, right? If that is looking to go up, that means they're about to maybe make a peak. So if this would even just cross up on the MACD, then you would say, okay, that's gonna go make a peak, meaning they're scared this thing's gonna run. So if they're making a peak, they're either trying to fight it before it runs. If it's already running, then it most likely continues, and then you see it peak in the short sale volume. So I'm still researching this, take it with a grain of salt, but trust me, I'll let you guys know if it comes to anything. Like if I think it's, and Wolf is proving it right now. Wolf is starting to prove it right now. So I gotta see how this thing goes with Wolf. Yeah, it hasn't, Wolf has not made a major peak, and it just started to run, right? So the fact that it just really started to run, now they're going, oh crap, and now this thing can catch some move, and then we'll see if it peaks out. And then I'm just paying attention to previous peaks and stuff like that, how they behaved. Pretty cool. It'll take me a while. It most likely will take me a month to really figure this stuff out. Does that mean it has to run right now? No, this could be all it does. I mean, look at this. This is the last time you actually saw one of those peaks, by the way. Like here, and then I think it was right here. Notice it ran for a couple more days, but started to fail. Okay, so here and here. Okay, so it does not have to keep going. It could turn down for a bit, then turn back up. Right, that's still, even right here, that's a 16% move. That's a 10% move. That's like almost 30 to 40%, right? Or 30% in like 2 days. So it's good. I like it. It's fun. All right, let's pay attention to the market, though. I still want to go look at the SPY because that's why I'm still here, right? I'm looking at this 5 minutes. Starting to roll. All right. So visionary, you might get a little cookie here if this thing can go negative and cross over that 30-minute. All right, you got to cross down the 30-minute. Most likely a reconnection with the 5-day moving average would be the first thing to pay attention to. So 591, I'll say 591.50. Take a look at IWM. Yeah, Robert, give me 1 second. Robert, you are outside of a weekly expected move. Just know, guys, if you ever want weekly expected moves for the other indices, you just got to ask. You get it immediately on the in the Patreon, right? But if you ask and you're nice about it, I'm not going to show it all the time, but if you're nice about it, I'll probably show it to you. Let's be real. For this right now, does this look like a great opportunity on the 30-minute? It looks like it's still a good one on the 2 hour, but it looks like the 30-minute might need a pullback. You're outside of a weekly expected move. You're hitting a daily expected move most likely, or outside of it already. Yeah, so you're coming into an area where this can see some good resistance. Now you're getting a bunch of small stocks to pop, so this could see something crazy. But as of right now, you're starting to see little 15 minutes. If that 15-minute rolls, most likely the 30-minute pulls back, and you close the week where? In your 68% zone. Right? It's just showing there's 15, 30-minute can experience a pullback. That makes total sense. Now, you want to be careful with this. If this is a extreme pullback, right, it goes like that, that could be a lower high. That's bad. That's when you start to look at the 2-hour. But if this can hold up better, I think it has more time still. I think you have time to do something like this over time. But you never know. If that 2-hour rotates down, could get uglier. So as far as it goes for today, as far as the options market says, that's as high up as you're probably supposed to go for the entire week. That's just for this week, you know, think crazy things can happen. I mean, let's just go look over at Tesla. Crazy things happening there. Ooh, a little bit of red coming in. Remember, watch out if this is some kind of trap board Tesla. NVIDIA, not seeing the best price action just yet. The SPY starting to come down. Is that going to curl down the 30-minute? This is why we're looking for that now. You have a 5-minute crossing really, really close. That's when you pay attention. So now we can just sit and go, hey, is that 30-minute going to cross? Awesome. Hey, wait, who just did something? Is it Narcissus? I think it's Narcissus, but thank you so much for subscribing. I'm not a genius, I'm a nerd. I just overanalyze everything till I can figure something out. Thank you, ADHD. Thank you, ADHD and a little bit of nicotine. Am I right? No? No? Nobody else does dippies? Okay. It balances me out. It keeps me just a little bit focused. SPY starting to fall. Wow, it's almost like we did the micro with you guys today. Just don't expect me to do micro. I'm thinking about this, by the way. If you're in the chat and you're thinking about taking the course or you have taken the course, just let me know if you would like a video over the weekend describing kind of how to look at micro structure, like how to look for micro moves before you see something crossing, you know what I mean? Which website do you use? I just use, so if you pretty much go up here, can you see up here? Yeah, you can see up here. If you just go up here, someone give me a random stock. Just throw out a random ticker. Random ticker, let's go. MSTR, perfect. MSTR. Now I want you to do this. Space, short. Then if it's not there, sale. Okay, MSTR short sale, boom. It only records on the daily. Obviously, it's going to be huge numbers, so just zoom out and boom. So do you think they're fighting MSTR right now? Do you think they're pissed that MSTR is going up? And remember what we said, once this thing peaks, usually it can run for like a day or so. Sometimes it happens at the same time. So what stock do you think are they really fighting? That is pretty big for MSTR. That's pretty big, right? So they do not want that stock to continue to go in the upward direction. Let's look at it. MSTR. Wow, that's weird. It happened on this day, right? This records the next day, by the way. So if you go MSTR short sale, and you just look at this, and you go, okay, what's the date here? Thursday, November 21st. What happened on Thursday, November 21st after that huge thing, after that huge short sale volume? Something awful. And a lot of people calling it a flash crash. Yeah, this is TradingView, Dommy. Yeah, TradingView. And you can look at all this stuff completely free on TradingView. It's just, I pay for the basic package, just so you're aware. There you go. Yeah, it's just something I'm putting together. It's something you can do if you want to analyze it yourself. I encourage you to push yourself, right? Push yourself, push yourself, push yourself. Now, don't make connections that aren't there. Make sure those connections are there. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of takes on Bitcoin. The one that I respected the most on Bitcoin was Oh, I can't remember the guy's name right now. Maybe I'll post the video. But he's a believer that over the next 10 to 20 years, and he explained it really well, Bitcoin could go up to $250,000. And when you really think about the implementation, the amount people have like governments have fought against it, if governments stayed out of it but actually allowed people to use it, if it actually became useful, like if people could actually use it to pay for things and it held steady value in the sale, like the regular buying and selling marketplace, like for goods, that would be a good thing, kind of like the USD, right? It would be a good thing, and it made sense to me. So I go, hey, if that thing ever drops in value dramatically, most likely I will be buying at least 10 of them. If I see that thing drop real heavy, I'll buy as many as I can that make sense. If it's 2 and it's $50,000, cool. Yeah, I think Ripple's in the same scenario here, and usually if you see Ripple ripping, then it means like actually a lot of people on the AMC side of things think AMC is going to rip, which is, I haven't made that connection yet, personally. What I would more say is if there's a market for it and people like it and there becomes more of a market for it, then it should grow. That's just basic economics. If I make a coffee shop and you make a coffee shop right next door and people like my coffee better, which company is going to grow? Yeah, I'm a little bit cautious with banks that could potentially fail because they're underwater pumping Bitcoin, personally. 300 gain on SPY pig, in and out. Hey, that's good. That's good. Little fade there. Well, we'll see. We haven't curled over the 30-minute just yet. We do have that weakness for the 5, but remember, we are just moving sideways. But here's the thing. You're building liquidity. You're building. So they're most likely, if there's no big move today, there's gonna be a move that catches people off guard on Monday. I'm more so leaning towards they're gonna really try to shake things up, get this thing down to lower levels if the 2-hour cross is bad, but if that 30-minute can just base out there, I think something like that could take place. That is actually what I'm leaning towards. I'm pretty much looking for all scenarios that still end up with us up here. Unless we see 2 hours cross, then we gotta rethink it, but you guys, I already played this. I already took my money, right? I already played Apple. I played it on this run up. I sold at the end of the day. That was my play. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I was supposed to go to lunch with some friends, but we're not feeling very well. While the mic was off, I just like hacked up again. So yeah, we can go look at something. I don't feel like awful. It's just all this stuff in my throat. I don't like it. One thing for sound, this would be great for sound to actually consolidate. If we're looking at this as like a regular stock, right? This would be a great place to consolidate, right? we come up to these levels. We really want to break through this cleanly. You don't want to break through and then give it up, unless you break through, retest, and then go. But I would rather you see something like this, and then you break through that very obvious resistance here. Cool part about sound is in the past, we can learn from this by seeing, what do we see here? Divergence, divergence led to that big drop. So when you see this, guys, treat it very seriously, because look what happens. Then when you see it in the other direction, you can be like, oh, okay, that anywhere in here looks pretty good. And it bases out by the center line, right? Maybe you have to manage risk because that was at 0.5. You manage risk. And then that curls up again and you go, okay, awesome. You get scared for 30 minutes and it still goes. All right. Very, very good. I like this. Let's spread this thing out. Daily scale, turning back up. Interesting. Now, you know I gotta look. Everything that seems to be popping today, I gotta look. I gotta look. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there you go. So yesterday, on November 13th, is this November 13th? November 13th was the next day. Okay, awesome. On this big drop, you had the peak. So you see how the drop and the peak can come at the same time, just like MSTR. The peak can come at the same time for the short sale volume. So now it's starting to scale up again. So that just tells me, hey, this thing could pop off if it reaches a peak at any point. Like, you don't know necessarily when that peak will come in, but it could reach a peak at any point. What do we want to look for? Hey, if the 2-hour turns back down. If the 2-hour turns down, bad, right? But this I think, would say the short sale volume went up to like 27.5 million in like 4 days. That's pretty high. But yeah, 2-hour turns down, I don't like it. 30-minute, if it pulled back a little bit, I'd be okay with it, and then curls up into positive territory. I think that's good consolidation. Looks like you're trying to break through right now, though. Wolf still up 23%. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. All right, 5-minute. Can this thing turn back up? Can it turn back up? It always can. That's why 5 minutes are rough. But this is suggesting that this is weakness in momentum. So the biggest suggestion here is that 30 minutes is going to cross down. We don't know how low that would go, though. It's in a positive trend. It could just be more flagging, more sideways, right? But the 30-minute could cross because of this. All right, let's go check PCC. People starting to get a little more in the middle as of now. Let's check the max pain for the SPY today. Were people very bullish? Ooh, 595. Okay, that makes total sense now. Okay, so 595 is a major call wall. So you notice whenever we get above that, we keep fading it. Above that, keep fading it. So yeah, that's a big deal. You have a huge, huge call wall at 595. Your first put wall is around 590. And I will be speaking with Bookmap. If you guys use Bookmap, I'm going to speak with them, see if we can get you guys a deal for Bookmap. Well, that's the thing, man, Fred, and that's why I'm not trying to read into and talk about it too much. I'm just letting you guys know some things that I've come up with. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt. I'm still researching it. I need a solid month, maybe 2, because Christmas and stuff's coming, but month or 2 to really look into it. And it might even be kind of late for it, because if they clamp down on short sellers once Trump gets in, all that stuff might start to go away. So, yeah. But how do you know if it's high or low? Well, if you see short sale volume is like this, and then you see that all of a sudden, that's the only thing I want to read into. Why is this happening? And then you go look at the chart. It's pretty obvious though if it's low. If it's low, it's just down here like this, and then you'll see these big spikes, and you'll see, hey, that's when this thing's going for a run. What I'm interested in is this. Actually, this will be fun to look at. I haven't done this yet. I'll do more on this today. Date June 20th. September 11th. Interesting. Yeah, they use it to manipulate NVIDIA sometimes too. Interesting. Now that kind of changes my thinking a little. I want to look at this later, so I'll research it more. Oh, NVIDIA still breaking down. Remember, NVIDIA, you got to pay attention to if that 2 hours crossing, you are now seeing something crazy. So you have an hour, 2 hours to hold that thing up. The SPY, maybe we are going to get some kind of 30-minute pullback. We're starting to see that blip down there. You have 26 minutes left in the bar. Levels to pay attention to, 590 and 588.83 for now. If we start to curl down bigger time frames, bigger things can happen. Watch it for the next couple of hours. I do have to take off, guys. But I do thank you for being here today. I really do. Thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you for liking the video if you already have. We're trying to get this channel to 10K. So if you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing, right? See if it's a good fit for you, but think about subscribing. And make sure to like the videos to help out the channel. Maybe we can get to 10K by Christmas. I think that'd be fantastic. So thank you guys so much for joining. It's been a lot of fun today. I haven't felt the best, but I tried to bring out the best energy I could. Thankfully, Mom stepped up to the plate, you know? Maybe Mama stepped up, made some breakfast, and I got to feeling a little bit better. But thank you guys for being here. Good luck with your trades. Manage risk. Trade like water. It's a very important time. We could see rip around moves. Volatility is turning down on a bigger time frame. We'll see if that remains turned down for the entire day. But I think we still do have the opportunity to head higher, barring something bad happens like a black swan moment. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great day. Check out those courses and Patreon down in the description if you're interested. 90% off on the courses till the end of this month, so you only have a few days left. Get to learning this weekend, and I hope you have a great, great rest of your day and a great weekend. Peace out. Hey, thank you so much. $4.99 from Jackal. 100K will be tough. Yeah, we'll look at that. It's just that 4-hour divergence for Bitcoin. That's the main thing. Later, guys.